Boxing, the sweet science, a sport of skill, heart, and strategy where anything can happen under the bright lights. Some nights, we get pure magic. I'm talking about legendary brawls,
body shots by Getty, Ward nods as if to say, come on,
jaw-dropping knockouts, or a fighter digging deep and proving the doubters wrong.
watch this guy and have some fun.
We love you, not just me, us.
You own him, son.
I know you fucking love this. Let's go.
But then, there are the moments that leave everyone stunned. The ones that make fans, commentators, and even the fighters themselves go, wait, did that really just happen?
That's been started by some of Bo's handlers, and somebody's gonna get hurt in there.
From bizarre meltdowns to absolute chaos, these are the moments that had promoters shaking their heads, fans throwing drinks, and history books scrambling to explain. This is boxing's most controversial finishes.
The fight has spread off the ring mat. George Foreman doing his best to stop it. Two more guys going into the ring.
What's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Lou2Sick back with another fire upload for you. The most controversial finishes in boxing history. Real quick, y'all know what we do here. We deal in violence on this channel, breaking down everything from boxing to MMA and pro wrestling. If you haven't, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, because this is just one of the many things we're bringing to you in this new year. Y'all know what we're doing here. We're trying to build a little family, and it's based on the one thing we love most. Y'all know what to do. Keep those hands up.
Well, I've seen some strange things in boxing. That is surely one of the strangest.
It's 1997, Oliver McCall, the only man to have slept Lennox Lewis. Well, now he has to run it back. It's a shot at redemption for the British star and a chance for the American McCall to prove that the first win wasn't a fluke. Instead, we saw one of the strangest meltdowns in boxing history. Mid-fight, McCall just stops. No punches, no defense, just starts walking around the ring, staring into the void like he just realized he left the oven on. Then out of nowhere, he starts crying.
Something wrong with Oliver McCall. He's near tears now. He doesn't really want to fight. He's crying in his corner. I've never seen anything like this.
As a kid, Hey Arnold always taught me, in a fight, you gotta act crazier than your opponent. Well, at this fight, McCall proved that doesn't really work.
He doesn't want to fight.
Come on, sit down, man. Sit down. Oliver, sit down. Now, you want to fight? What's wrong? Huh? You don't want to fight?
Yeah, you want to fight.
Now, the whole scene left Lennox Lewis stunned. He looked at the referee, seemingly confused as to what to do.
My trainer, Madison Stewart, said, well, what are you doing? I said, man, he's crying. He said, so go beat him up then.
The ref would have no choice, and he'd end up waving the fight off. Technical knockout, Lennox Lewis gets his revenge, but not in the way anyone expected. McCall, he takes the weirdest L in heavyweight history. It was a championship rematch that turned into an impromptu therapy session. The therapist ended up being Lennox Lewis. He ended up dishing out some tough love. After the fight, McCall would attribute his breakdown in the ring to issues with drugs outside of the ring. Did he keep fighting after? Yeah, he actually had a long career, even well into his 50s. His last fight took place just last year. But no matter what he did after, the crying incident followed him. It was like an asterisk next to his name. Proof that in boxing, mental toughness is just as important as physical ability. Alright, for our next submission, imagine boxing for about 30 minutes and then you get your hand raised. You and your opponent are walking out of the ring and then suddenly your lights go out.
That's assault. That is assault. He should be arrested on the spot. He should be arrested right on the spot. That is assault and battery.
It was 2001 and Richard Grant was facing off against James Butler, all part of an ESPN card meant to fundraise for recovery efforts from 9/11. Both fighters would box to the final bell, but it would be Grant at the end of the day, taking home the decision victory. Butler, instead of dapping him up after the fight and showing respect, Well, he then went full supervillain mode and sucker punched Grant bare knuckle. Grant's jaw was broken, his teeth were shattered, and the entire boxing world was disgusted.
The police are right there. They're going to escort him out. Ray Kelly, the commissioner, is right behind him. He is being taken out, and he should be thrown in a paddy wagon right now.
Now, after this incident happened, Butler was immediately arrested. He was charged with assault, and then he spent 4 months in New York's Rikers Island prison. That alone would have made him a pariah from the sport. But unfortunately, his story takes a darker turn. In 2004, James Butler was staying with sports writer Sam Kellerman, who was trying to help him rebuild his life. Instead, Butler snapped, bludgeoning Kellerman to death with a hammer, setting his apartment on fire and fleeing the scene. Arrested and convicted of voluntary manslaughter and arson, Butler was then sentenced to 29 years in prison, sealing his legacy as one of boxing's most tragic and infamous figures.
James Butler with the cowardly move of the night.
For our next submission, well, these guys didn't even have to break a sweat. Just like that, the fight was over.
Alright, just chill out. No one's as pissed off as me. Believe me. Not one person is as pissed as me.
Right, it's 2010. Danny Green is defending his IBO Cruiserweight title in Australia, and standing across from him is Paul Briggs, a veteran known for his toughness. The bell rings, Green steps forward, throws a light jab that barely lands, and Briggs collapses like he just got hit with a cannonball. Briggs would never get up, and Green wins by knockout in 29 seconds.
7, 8, 9, 10. Storm warning over. The hurricane is gone.
The only thing was, nobody bought it. The punch was weak, Briggs barely flinched before dropping, and the crowd and Danny Green instantly smelled that something was fishy.
And I can't say sorry for that person. He ain't even a canine. He's not even a canine.
Now, immediately after this fight happened, the Australian Boxing Commission quickly launched an investigation. Turns out Briggs had been medically ruled unfit to fight in New South Wales due to past concussion issues, so the fight got sanctioned in a different state. Investigators would find a bunch of betting irregularities, but it wasn't clear if Briggs was involved. This, though, would be the last time he'd ever step in a ring.
And I will apologise to you for his behalf. And I promise you, every person in here I will make it up to the next fight here. And I give you my word, I promise you.
Hey, at least a punch was thrown, because in this next fight we're going to talk about, we didn't even get that far. In 2018, heavyweight prospect F.A. Ajagba just had to stare at a dude to win. That's because his opponent Curtis Harper just walked straight out of the ring and into the locker room as soon as the bell rang. Yeah, it was crazy. Harper's trainer looked shocked, the referee was confused, the commentators also had no idea what to say. Meanwhile, Ajagba is just standing in the ring like, did I just win by intimidation? We've seen early knockouts, but this was losing by self-TKO. The fight was officially ruled a disqualification win for Ajagba, making it one of the fastest victories ever. But what really happened? Was Harper scared? Intimidated? Injured? Nah, it was none of that. Yeah, Harper later claimed he left as a protest against low pay. He felt disrespected by the purse he was offered and decided to make a statement. But let's be real, there are ways to protest bad pay, and then there's walking out of a live televised fight like you forgot your car keys. And the wild thing is, y'all, that Harper is still boxing today. There's even rumor that he's the next opponent for Deontay Wilder. Now that fight hasn't been confirmed. Right now he's 18-11. With a record like that, let's hope he doesn't do the same thing when he gets lowballed on pay if he fights Wilder. At the end of the day, Harper's name is now forever attached to one of the most bizarre moments in boxing history.
Curtis Harper is on his way to the dressing room and is walking out of the ring.
Alright, now we've come to number 1, and up until this point, we've seen some wild moments on this list. But this one is the wildest. It's the most legendary. It's the night a crowd turned Madison Square Garden into a war zone. It's 1996. Riddick Bowe, former undisputed heavyweight champ, steps into the ring against Andrew Golota, a dangerous but undisciplined contender. Bowe's the favorite, but from the jump, Golota is tagging him up. He's sharper, landing the cleaner shots, and dude is straight outboxing Bowe. The only problem? He keeps punching below the belt. He gets one warning, then another, and then another. He just won't stop. We get to round 7 and Golota is still working Bowe over. But boom, another low blow happens. And that's what has the ref saying enough. He calls the fight off, disqualifies Golota, and then suddenly, all hell breaks loose.
It's been started by some of Bowe's handlers who went after Lou Duva, and somebody's going to get hurt in there. Somebody's going to get hurt. And there are more people trying to go in. And security.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. They'll stop it. Don't. Get back. Go back where you'll see the tongue. Get on back.
My microphone got knocked off my head.
Don't do it, son. Don't do
There's
that.
danger all over the place here. This is a very desperate situation. Lou Duva's in trouble. Lou Duva's in trouble on the ring mat. Duva's down and hurt. They're lifting Duva out of the ring.
They're going to cool it out.
Duva trying to help his dad out. This is just an awful looking situation in there.
Bowe's entourage storms the ring, and we're not talking a couple of guys either. We're talking about an all-out army. They go after Golota's corner, and then Golota's team fights back. And then suddenly, MSG looks like WrestleMania without a script. People are throwing hands outside the ring, inside the ring, and in the stands. Security completely loses control. It's one of the wildest riots in sports history. By the time things calm down, multiple people are injured. Golota has a massive gash on his head from a walkie-talkie smash, and the whole night is officially a disaster.
It's a black mark on the sport. This has been an extremely ugly scene so far, and it continues at ringside, where now the riot has moved down to floor level.
And if that wasn't crazy enough, get this. Despite all this happening, Bowe and Golota ended up running it back. And what do you think happened? Another disqualification.
Semi-conscious.
Low blows, and down goes Bowe again.
Yeah, that's it.
And Cotton is not thinking disqualification.
He's calling the fight over.
That's it.
He's
He
calling
is thinking disqualification.
He's disqualified Golota again.
You see, Golota had all the skills to win, but his head would get in the way. He'd end up self-sabotaging, and that's when he'd go below the belt. Bowe took a beating, and Golota was well on his way to winning. Unfortunately, he'd throw away 2 moments of greatness. Without a doubt, the MSG Riot is the most chaotic finish in boxing history. Alright y'all, that is the wildest finishes in boxing history. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. If there's some other finishes that I didn't get a chance to touch on, make sure to let me know. We can do part 2 of this video. Click like on the video. Let's get it popping in that algorithm. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Also hit that notification bell. We got so much we're working on, from combat reaction videos, news videos, history videos, list videos like this one. Just make sure you're staying tuned and keeping your hands up.